a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. On this edition of The Big Story, Saturday, March 23, YEP and Unite BVI made the big announcement and broke grounds for the construction of a YEP Virgin Gorda, one that promises to be even bigger than YEP East End Tortola. Following the ceremony, I sat with some key players. It's really a remarkable team that is sitting here, a group of people who would have played such a great role in what we're seeing here. We talk so much about doing things to advance youths in our territory, and to see this happening here today is really remarkable. First, for the Jahphix family, what does this mean to your family?
Well, you know, my parents came to the BVI 50 years ago, and they fell in love with the place, and then as they got to know the people here better, they started to understand that there are challenges, like in any community, for youth, and there was an opportunity to create a center originally in East End, and then to start expanding that. And then when we were able to get together with this incredible group of people, many of whom were here today, and consider expanding it, that was sort of the next challenge, and there was a lot of work that went into it, but the idea of YEP and Virgin Gorda is a very exciting one, and started today with this groundbreaking.
You spoke a little bit about what the needs of the kids are and the possibilities of those coming to fruition. Tell us a little.
You know, I spend a lot of time at YEP, and I've spent a lot of time one-on-one with kids and in groups. And if you imagine what it's like to be a child in the BVI, from their eyes, for a long time, what they've seen is a giant hurricane, and then there's a boat sitting in front of their house, and maybe they think it's normal that their roof came off. It's just very, very traumatic to go through the kinds of weather challenges and other challenges, and it means so much more to kids when they have that lack of stability. So gathering this group of adults who recognize that and say, we want to create stability for these kids who've not had the easiest time, the hope is that they really can enter a safe space in YEP and use that safety and security to really take advantage of all the opportunities, to learn about computers, to learn about robotics, to learn how to cook, to learn how to pursue art. There's so many opportunities that can offset the difficulties that they have in their normal lives.
And we heard Stacey Mater say this is likely to be even bigger than what we have on Tortola.
Well, more and more people are learning about YEP, and you know, every person I see driving by here slows down, and I'm excited to see that, because that's how in communities people learn about things. Is some people make a loud noise, other people pay attention, and then they say, how do I sign up? How do I bring my kids there?
Okay, I'll turn to you now. First of all, tell us your name, where you're from. We understand that you traveled here for this groundbreaking moment. Tell us about that relationship and why.
Yeah, my name is Doug Eagles, and I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Monmouth County, New Jersey. And I got connected with Dr. Henry Drecke about 7 or 8 years ago, and he brought me down here and introduced me to Stacey. And right away, Stacey won my heart. I saw the passion and the authenticity that he has as it relates to really equipping the young people of BVI with a pathway for success. And everything that he's doing is the same work that I'm doing in New Jersey. So there was a natural synergy for us to really start to collaborate and work together and reinforce the work he's doing down here. And he also helps me do my job better in New Jersey. And so really that cross-fertilization of ideas with the sole purpose of ensuring that the young people that we both serve in our respective communities can have the opportunities that we know they need in order to meet their full potential in life. So being part of that, being able to come down here and see see the expansion from Tortola to Virgin Gorda, seeing all the different partners coming together and uniting behind Stacy and what he is doing and his vision is just something I'm really humbled and grateful to be part of.
Sitting here today and hearing of all this that's happening and seeing it, what are some of the visions that come to your mind that you see that your group may be doing that, I think this will work well as they grow for the Virgin Islands?
Yeah, I think, Stacy's actually been up to New Jersey with a lot of his staff from YEP to do some staff training and to really help us learn from what he's doing down here and for us to teach him what we're doing and really just reinforce the different ways that we go about serving the kids that we get to work with every day. And every time we get a chance to do that, we want to create new opportunities and create new programs that we know will just what I always say is creating an ecosystem of opportunities for young people to explore their interests and their passions so that they can become who they envision themselves to be.
All right, so we'll leave the lone lady among us for last. So I want to go to you, Dr. Pickering. Your name was called here today. You were applauded for your involvement. Give us a little bit about the background of you and YEP.
Well, when we were first elected to government, that is Dr. Smith's administration between 2003, 2007, it was during a time when I myself was not only a lot younger, but very much involved with youth affairs. And it was Dr. Smith who introduced me to Dr. Jahphix and said that Dr. Jahphix himself was interested in maybe doing some programs with young people. And since I had a natural affinity for that work, why don't I have a conversation with him? I remember the day when Dr. Jahphix and I was at Village Ski Marina that afternoon, and we started our discussions. And those discussions evolved over a period of time and years. And you heard the Premier mention that himself and Noni Georges had approached me with the idea of moving something along that line forward. But at the time, certainly when Dr. Jahphix and I were having those discussions, his ideas were much more expansive than my ideas were. I didn't have a clue what he was thinking in terms of way beyond, and I guess that's why he's the wealthy man that he is. So we looked at a number of physical places within our Eastern Landlocked community where we could start an after-school program, but it was never what he wanted. And then eventually, I think with time and the idea that you heard mentioned earlier, we were able to consummate a real idea and bring it together and then identify the piece of land. And there was something that was left out that needed to be mentioned. The land where YEP is located was land that was actually donated by Mr. Romney Penn, where the Church of God of Holiness is and where the YEP Center is, because he at the time was involved in purchasing that whole Barbie estate. And the late Ashford Fred was his good friend, and he donated the land to the church and subsequently donated, but it had to go through a process of being donated to government. And it was Ms. Sheila Bradford, who was the permanent secretary at the time, that really and truly helped to engineer the transformation for the land. And then it was Mr. Derek Dunlap, whose idea was used in separating the land between both YEP, where YEP is now, and the Church of God of Holiness, to be able to build the center that we now have. And you know what Andrew was saying about people passing by here and recognize it was the same sort of reaction when we had, but for another time and another discussion, it wasn't all easy going, back 20 years ago. And but what Stacy said, nothing can stop an idea whose time has come, and we are where we are, and it's a wonderful day, a red letter day to see this happening in Virgin Gorda today. And eventually, I know Honorable Lorna Smith has been working for a number of years to have a center established in Road Town. And I know, well, I just want to make sure, she will say it first, but I want to make sure that people know that she's been working behind the scenes to make sure that happened. And we also had talked over the years, and you can confirm this, about doing something on Joshua Dyke also. So the ideas of, been germinating for years. So I'm I'm delighted to be here today and to really see this happening, because ultimately the community benefits once we invest in the younger people of our community. So congratulations to all who are involved.
At one stage of your career, you were the Minister for Natural Resources, and one of the things that you've always put forth is for the recognition and importance of preserving the environment, and YEP has gone green. What's your thoughts on that?
Like I said, there's another time for those level of discussions, but the ideas of YEP and the ideas of the environmental, God bless his soul, my friend Washasha Bertrand Lettsome, and all the work that was done to the preservation of the turtle, but just the sensitization of how important the environment is to the BVI and then the climate change agenda, etc. It's nice to just see that things are coming to fruition. And hopefully in my next life, I'll be able to work on behalf of my community to advance other ideas that will propel us the next 20 and 25 years forward.
You're not going to do that now? You got to wait till your next life? You're doing it already now?
On that note, we go to the queen among the men here
Oh
today.
my goodness.
Honorable Lorna G. Smith of BC, we know your passion for YEP. You've been involved and you serve not only as a minister here, you've been long before becoming a minister of government with this, and you have also been pushing for the advancement of this program. We see the growth now that it's on Virgin Gorda, but you've also, like Dr. Pickering said, pushing for a rural town. Yeah.
I have indeed, but I just want to say a little bit more about this whole YEP process and how it works, and pay special tribute to Dr. Henry Jarecki. I think Andrew said he thinks, what did you say? He doesn't think in a linear fashion. I don't. Weird. He's weird. But good weird. And a good weird, of course, and it's so true. Aside from all you've heard about what has happened in terms of YEP East End and now YEP Virgin Gorda, what I like are the additions in terms of what YEP offers, the YEP Center. I was very impressed, for instance, with Chelsea Hodge, who is a YEPie, who works at the moorings, and in fact she's the HR director at the moorings, and I interfaced with her as a minister. And it is that kind of training that she's gotten from YEP that makes her the well-rounded person that she is. You look at LEAD, and tell us again what LEAD stands for.
Learning, Earning, and Advancing Dreams.
So you have LEAD, and LEAD is a program a project, if you want to call it that has been added on, if you like, to the YEP program within the last year. And you can see from today the delicious food. I mean, I had to put my plate down, but the delicious food, the training that they have, and that they get from Chef Mike and other people. These are the components that YEP, Stacey Mather, Dr. Jarecki, Andrew, and so on, bring to YEP to keep it vibrant, to keep it dynamic for our young people. And yes, indeed, I am very excited at the prospects of a YEP in Roe Town. And as you know, we have been raising money, Kathy, as a Rotarian. For the last few years, we have a few $100,000, I gather, because I don't get to come to Rotary as often as I used to. But we have some money for a YEP program. And YEP for us isn't necessarily going to be about a building. It has to be about a program, because our young people throughout the territory need the kind of support, the kind of guidance that they would get from a YEP program in Roe Town. So I'm equally excited about that. But I have been on the board of YEP for many years. The YEP Foundation equally, And I feel excited and thrilled at moments like this. And today, as Dr. Pickering said, is a red letter day for the BVI and for the Youth Empowerment Program. My only wish, and I don't know how we're going to get it done, is that it went beyond the years, whatever, to 16 years, because that older group, we need them to be able to benefit from the support that they can get from YEP.
To the kids of this community especially, take full advantage of this opportunity. This is something that, kids don't always have access to these types of resources, and these are the resources that can help propel you to a successful, thriving life. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of building relationships with the YEP staff, with all the other YEPies that are part of this community, and learn and grow together. Because you are the future generation of BVI. You are the future leaders of BVI, and YEP can help you develop into what those leaders become.
I think that there's sometimes a hesitation for kids in trying something they haven't tried before, and I think that my message would be the water is warm, come in, see what YEP has to offer. If you don't know somebody that's there, just walk in the front door, somebody will extend a hand to you, and if it's not in your neighborhood, come to YEP that's not in your neighborhood or get a ride there just to see what it's like. And then encourage people to do it. Kids have a loud voice, and if the kids are saying, we need something like this, it's that much more likely to happen in Roadtown. It's that much more likely to happen in Joseph Van Dyke. These opportunities are meaningful, but the voices of the kids are really what can drive them to appear in more places and to expand the program. So don't be shy about visiting, and don't be shy about demanding it.
Hey, Kathy, I think the most fundamental point is that you can't argue with success. And that YEP, 20 years on, is and has been a success, speaks volumes. So the young people should just look at that model and try to figure out in themselves, how can I benefit from it? My own professor, told us when I was in medical school that doors of opportunity don't just open onto you. Somebody have got to create those opportunities, but when those opportunities are created, you have to get up off of your seat and walk through the door of opportunity. And this here is by no means a small opportunity that's been created for the young people of Virgin Gorda, and I would just beg and plead with them to just take advantage of the opportunity, because the opportunities that will exist in YEP, you as an individual could never dream about them on your own. You'll just see things and hear things and meet people and interact with people that you could never dream of. So please embrace the opportunity, and in so doing, you'll have a much brighter future for yourself.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.